So it turns out we were all completely wrong, and you can get significantly higher item level out of the Dragonflight preseason content than we originally thought. I personally was thinking we could only get 382 item level out of some weekly scaling content. However, we have already broken that ceiling. It has now been confirmed that we can get at least up to 385 item level, but I imagine that the open world content's actually going to scale all the way up to normal raid gear, so at least 389 item level, maybe 392 item level. That would seem reasonable as well. And it could even go further than this. This is pure speculation, but I wouldn't put it past Blizzard to actually make open world content maybe compete with heroic item level rewards as well, which would be kind of awesome for all of the casual players out there. That maybe isn't going to be the case, but that potentially could happen as well. So at least we know we can get 385 item level, but I genuinely think it's going to go higher. Now, how do you get this? We'll go through this in detail in the video, but basically there is a bunch of scaling rewards in the game. Now, what do I mean by scaling? Basically world quests, right? The item level rewarded from world quests is based on the current item level that you have equipped. So at the moment you can see I have 372 item level equipped, right? Based on that, the game will then do a calculation and give you higher item level pieces than what you currently have equipped. So I got a 379 item level trinket rewarded from a world quest. If I had 385 item level equipped, then maybe it would drop 389 item level from that world quest. That's just an example of how it's going to work, but we will go through all of these sources where we can get scaling item level from, and I'm also going to go over the static item level gains because you want to try and get the highest item level possible before doing that scaling content, right? So you want to maximize this number before doing any of your weekly content, etc., to get the best possible scaling rewards. Let's jump straight into it then. So what do I mean by static rewards? Static rewards, that's Mythic Zeros dungeons, right? So all of the 372 item level pieces that I have equipped here, they've come from Mythic Zeros. Get those done as soon as you can. Get them out of the way. You will then have the best possible item level to go and do your weekly content, right? I would also highly, highly suggest grinding out bloody tokens to fill out any slots. So these Drake Breakers pieces that I have equipped, they've come from bloody tokens. You can get them from a PvP vendor. These bloody tokens, they are rewarded from war supply chests. So if you put war mode on and look for those war supply chests whenever you're out in the open world, that will give you 200 bloody tokens for the first chest that you open each day, and then 50 for each chest after that. You can also get them from war mode specific world quests which reset on a daily basis. You can get up to like 500, I want to say, or at least 400 rewarded from those quests as well. So that's another great source of static item level. The final thing which I want to cover is Renown and reputations. Now, these are much longer grinds, and I actually don't think that they're that worthwhile doing because there are some semi-grindable scaling rewards. However, I'm going to go through them anyway, and you can pick and choose if you would like to do them. The first one, which we've already covered, is the Cobalt Assembly Ring. It's a 389 item level ring with a proc chance on it. The proc chance is actually doing decent damage, by the way. And this is rewarded now after it's been nerfed within about 3.5 hour grind, I think it is, in an organized group. So it takes a while to get, but it's definitely worth it if you do have a lot of time and you can spend it. But honestly, there might be other potential better ways of getting gear, which we'll cover in a second once we go through the scaling content. The other things, so there are reputation rewards. So specifically, there's some ones fairly early on from Maruuk Centaur. You can see I'm very close to hitting this. Rank 11, I can get some 376 item level boots. There is then also rewards from the Dragonscale Expedition, which I haven't even started the grind yet, but once I get all the quests done, I imagine I can probably get here. There are 376 item level gloves. One thing which not many people are talking about is for Dragonscale Expedition specifically, you can climb mountains. So a lot of mountains have some flags which you can place at the top. If you place that flag, you will then get 250 reputation with the Dragonscale Expedition as well, and that will get you closer to those gloves. The final thing to talk about is Wrathion and Seballion rep. If you can get friendly with them, they both respectively reward a necklace and a cloak, the cloak of which is a 398 item level piece, so it's a huge item level gain. Now, the way to grind this out is to get into a raid in the Dragonscale Keep and farm obsidian keys. If I just go to the group finder and I put obsidian in here, you can see how many groups are going. If you get into one of these groups and it's specifically a raid and there's a lot of people in it, then you'll be getting a lot of key fragments. You can then hand in those key fragments to get infinite reputation with Seballion and Wrathion respectively, and then give yourself those big item level rewards in the neck and back slots. That is a really long grind, and most casual players aren't going to want to do it. I personally am not going to do it either because I want to focus on ults and I don't want to put all my time into one character. But if you are playing one character, then absolutely give it a go. Try and see if you can grind out those rewards. Overall though, the best way of doing it, do your M0s, get your reputation grinds that you want to, you know, set yourself a goal. Maybe you just do the ring and like boots something first. That's what I'm personally aiming for. And then go and fill out the rest of your slots with the bloody token pieces. After you've got all of that static item level influx, then I would start focusing on the scaling rewards. So like I said, scaling rewards are scaling based off the item level that you have equipped, and there are various ways of getting rewards. The first one is rare mobs. Whenever you see a rare mob, if you kill it, there is a chance that loot will drop. It can drop for any armor type, any weapon type. So for instance, I'm a rogue, I could still get a plate piece, or I could get an intellect weapon, for example. However, sometimes they will drop loot that you can equip, and it is scaling. So basically these rares are resetting every single day, and if you go around and you try and do a full clear of rares, then you'll be getting scaling rewards from all of these rares. Now, again, the best way of doing this is just to search for rare in the custom group finder, and then you'll find things. So this, like here, rare farm whole region, you can basically follow around a huge group and then go and kill rares together. Most of the time, players will wait for 90% of the group to end up with the rare, so it's absolutely worthwhile trying to get into one of these if you can, and just fly around and kill rares for a couple of hours each day. I would also suggest getting HandyNotes. If you get HandyNotes, you can see all of these blue skulls on the map. These are rare mobs. You can fly around and do routes. So here you could do something like this to get through Thaldraszus and get all of these rares done. Now, not all of the rares are going to be up every single day, but at least you can have an idea of where you need to aim and look for. The next thing is world quests. So I actually have a 379 trinket equipped, which was rewarded from a world quest in Thaldraszus. It was a group world quest. You can get world quest gear scaling above and beyond any other rewards again. So absolutely leave the world quests until the last possible moment, so you get the highest item level possible out of those rewards, but definitely don't miss them. Don't leave them right until the last minute and then miss those quests. Just leave them until the last day, and then on the last day just go around and do your world quest tour to get them finished. The final thing to talk about is weekly rewards. So weekly events, there is the community feast in Azure Span. So each time that you do this, the first time that you do this each week, you will be rewarded a cash, and then from that cash you have a scaling item which will be guaranteed to drop. So you will absolutely get an epic scaling item level piece from that. Same for the Trial of Floods down in the Anaran Plains. Same for the Wild Hunt in the Anaran Plains. So that's 3 so far. There is then also the Siege on Dragonsbane Keep, right? This will also give you scaling rewards. And the final one, which I'm going to give a shout out to Tettles here, my brother linked me a video earlier, which is just kind of crazy. I don't know whether they discovered it, but he was the first one to actually make it public. But in the temporal conflux, there is the Trial of Elements. Now, the Trial of Elements is another hidden weekly event, which again can give you scaling item level. The final thing is your weekly Accord quest. Your weekly Accord quest will again give you scaling item level. Overall then, how do you put all of this together? Well, like I said, maximize your static item level gains, then go away, farm rares, right? Do all of your rare grinding, get as much item level as you can from rares, and then on the last day, so on the Tuesday or the Monday, go round and do all of your weekly content. So that was all of your events and all of your weekly quests and your world quests to gather up all of that final item level. At the moment, like I said at the start, it's confirmed that we can get 385 item level, but I actually think by the end of the week, we might see people sneaking up above 380 item level equipped, which means that when they do their weekly rewards, right, they might be getting all the way up to 389 item level, which will be kind of crazy, right? To get normal gear before you even get into raiding is going to be a massive help. Now, there are lots of players that will just say, oh, it's not going to be useful because it'll be invalidated pretty quick. I mean, honestly, if you're going into Mythics on the first week with normal item level, you're probably going to have a significantly higher chance of just farming the first like 2 or 3 bosses, right? So I think it's going to matter for quite a few people, especially Mythic Plus as well. Mythic Plus, I know you could grind out gear pretty quickly, but that means you're going to be spamming +2s. If you can just immediately start pushing and try and do like 10, 15, like +15 keys immediately and just start farming that gear, that's going to be a significant amount of time saved early on in the season. So I think this gear has the potential to stick around at least for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season, especially if you're just raiding. I do think that it's worthwhile trying to spend the time now if you've got it. If you haven't got time, honestly, don't worry about it. Just do what I said anyway. Just do your Mythic Zeros. Try and fill out gaps with the bloody tokens, right? Maybe farm like 1 reputation. That would be it. That would be all that I would try and do. And then at the end of the week, once you've done a few rares, you know, maybe you just spend half an hour each day killing some rares. At the end of the week, do all of your weekly content, and then you'll have the best possible opportunity again, and you'll get the most out of the preseason that you can. But honestly, you don't have to. Don't feel like you need to do all of this. It's absolutely not necessary. It's just if you want to min-max, then the possibilities are there to min-max and trying to get some really high item levels. You know, we're already seeing like upwards of 380 item level equipped, which is just insane. It really is insane. So we'll have to see what happens next week, but I really think we'll get into normal item level gear pretty quickly. Overall then, I hope that you've enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed it, then it would be awesome if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm on a quest myself at the minute to try and become a content creator. I have a family to support and provide for, and there's no way that I can do this without your help. So if you can give me a thumbs up and a subscribe for the YouTube algorithm, that would be awesome. That would be very much appreciated. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.